I'd love to show you my Spirit Wisdom Animal Oracle and have you meet some of the spirit animals. I'd like to show you some of the card spreads and how the cards work. You know, spirit animals have been written about for ages. Their language is universal. It's their message is universal. They're archetypes. Because I'm an animal communicator, I sat with each species and remained open to whatever I heard. So some of the animals in the book the messages might have a slightly different twist. I incorporated a Kundalini Yoga meditation that corresponds with each spirit animal. By doing the Kundalini Yoga meditation, it will allow the wisdom teaching to penetrate deeper. Kundalini is a very powerful ancient yoga, one of the most ancient traditions, and it clears away blockages, obstacles, negativity, anything that doesn't serve you. It clears it really rapidly. You know, you can choose a card and read what it says and take it in on that level, and it'll certainly be beneficial. But if you want to really deepen your practice, then I suggest doing the Kundalini Yoga with it. Now, all the yogas, all the meditations have diagrams and very explicit explanations, but if it's not clear or if you're just not sure, feel free to contact me, and we can even Skype. I'll show you exactly how to do each meditation. So, that being said, I want to go into some of the card spreads. There's 6 of them. There's 291 pages in the book and 62 cards. Let me show you first how to shuffle your cards. It doesn't really matter how you shuffle them, but you want to be mindful. You want to hold an intent. Hold the question that you have in your mind, the guidance that you're seeking. If you can, set a sacred space. You can burn some sage or Palo Santo, light some incense, light a candle. You want to get out of the head and drop down to the heart center. Focus on your breathing and just come into your body. Just still the mind, just for a few moments, and then ask for your guidance. So then shuffling, they're kind of big, it might be kind of hard to hold them. So, you know, shuffle them any way that you can. Here's some ideas. You can divide them in 2. You can go like this. You can go long ways, lengthwise, and shuffle them like this. You can try the poker. Let me mess this up here. They're kind of big for my hands. My hands aren't that small. Here we go. It worked. So you can do that. Okay, so then you spread the cards out. Now, how to use your cards? Use them many different ways. One time I was walking on the trail behind my house, and 3 animals actually popped up. First one was a squirrel. Now, we see squirrels all the time, but this one really caught my attention. It was directly darting before my path. So that was number 1 animal that I saw that morning. And then I saw a raven, a beautiful raven. And then the 3rd one was a lizard. So I came back and I looked up each of those cards in the book, and I did my 3-card spread, which we're going to do later. There was one woman who was sprayed by a skunk. When she returned home, she looked up skunk in the book. So these are different ways you could use the deck. There are no accidents or coincidences. And that's what I love about oracle cards in general. They work with, they're synchronistic. There's a message that every animal is imparting to us. You know, it's play, but it's profound play in a sense. The first 3 card spreads only require 1 card. So you choose your card from your deck, and the first card spread is called the let me read it to you. Daily Insight Condor Practice. So you just pull 1 card for your daily wisdom, and you apply that wisdom throughout the day with all your interactions with everybody. We are on robot mode. We are not aware of our subconscious thoughts. And so meditation really is a retraining of the mind. It's observation of the mind. It takes practice and practice and practice. So these cards serve as a reminder to jog the mind and get you back on track. You're going to be contemplating that one card, the wisdom of that one card for the entire week, and doing that corresponding Kundalini Yoga meditation every single day. So when you pull your card, you want to keep it out so you can see it for 7 days. You can put it in your car, you can put it by your bed, you can put it in the bathroom, but you want to continuously be reminded so that you can consciously keep making your shift and retraining the thought patterns. You could also take the quote. Each animal has a quote in the book, and you can write that quote down and maybe keep that with you so that it jogs the memory. So the third card spread is the 40-day challenge butterfly practice. So this is a good card spread to do to remove blocks and change habitual patterns. There's no hard rule to how you use the cards, but if you're doing the 40-day practice, you do have to do it 40 consecutive days. So if you do it for 10 days and then you forget, you skip a day, then you have to start over from day one. Yogi Bhajan, the founder of Kundalini Yoga who brought it to the West, always said that to change the patterns in the brain takes 40 days. So then we've got the 2-card Unity Jaguar spread. These are 2 cards spread out, one to your left and one to your right. So the one to your left is self-reflection and the one to your right is self-expansion. So the self-reflection, obviously, you're looking at your own mind states. So you'll gain some insight here into how some of your own thoughts might be blocking yourself from moving forward. So the second card is self-expansion. So we're going to begin to, it'll suggest ways in which you begin to shift out of a self-centeredness so that your practice is benefiting others, uplifting others, making others happy. Our moods affect others. They affect our animals, as we know. Our animals pick up our stress and they become sick. They mirror our repressed thoughts and emotions and they act out. So it benefits everyone when we clear out the garbage. It's good to do in the morning or the evening because when you meditate first thing in the morning, you prevent the subconscious mind from, the negativity from entering the subconscious mind. And when you do it in the evening, you're also clearing out all that stress from the day, so you get a restful sleep and you wake up more refreshed. So that's when I would suggest to do your practice, morning or evening. So then we have the 3-card clarity spread and 9-day back practice. I like this spread because it really gives you a lot of clarity. With 3 cards and past, present, and future. And again, this is dealing with the states of mind, dealing with your mental activity, which governs your whole life. Okay, so the one to the left is your past. Ooh, we have surrender, polar bear. This card represents what or reveals feelings and thoughts that you may have had prior to the present moment. You know, our past thoughts create our circumstances today, and our present thoughts are creating our future circumstances. So it's so important to know what you're thinking. So this will give you that insight. The middle card is the present. It's going to suggest what shifts you need to make now, what perspectives you can consider. We have radiance, peacock for this one. Oh, and the future, fearlessness, skunk. So polar bear in the past position asks us to look at what we might have seen as setbacks and failures and hardships and to look at them differently. Surrendering to hardships means to see what their purpose was in our lives to see them as a vehicle and opportunity for us to change and to become stronger. So after we've reflected and understood our past experiences, we come into our power and our radiance with Peacock. The more we meditate, the more our light increases. And as we recognize our divine nature, our self-importance begins to decrease and our light increases even more. So as we move forward with Skunk, we find our self-worth. We no longer need to defend ourselves when we feel attacked. When we notice our irritations and insecurities rise from ego, we understand what pushes our buttons, and we choose to respond from a more conscious awareness. We have a choice. We either respond from our heart or we respond from habit, from ego. So the last card spread is Joy and Prosperity Hummingbird Practice. This is a 2-card spread. This card spread is based on the principle of reciprocity. What you give, you receive back. It's loosely based on the Tibetan Buddhist practice of Tonglen, taking and giving. We're going to divide the deck into 2 piles, and this is the receiving with your left hand, and this is the giving with your right hand. So we're going to choose 2 cards at the same time with each hand, and we put them here. So the card to your left, the receiving, this is going to suggest what you could do to empty yourself, to get out of your way, so that the universe could answer your questions, could give you your requests. The universe is always responding to our requests, responding really to our vibration, to our feeling tone, because the universe is vibrational. If you're wanting something and you're feeling undeserving or not worthy or fearful of attaining it, then you're not going to receive it. And of course, the yoga that goes with this card is going to really lock it in on a very deep level. What is it? Scrutiny. We have rat here, we have scrutiny. Drop criticism for today. Remain neutral and respond from compassion instead of judgment. You know, when we're very judging and critical of others and ourselves, well, if we're critical of others, we're critical of ourselves, because what we put out comes back to us. We shoot that arrow and we're the ones who become wounded. For example, this card would be telling you to have more of a neutral mind. So this card is going to be what you're going to be taking out to the world. So you really want to contemplate it, the wisdom, so that you have a more liberated, clear perspective. What is this card? For example, Swan, grace and beauty. So you want more ease in your life. You see, once we drop that criticism, this is going to naturally come, yes? This is going to be the outcome of dropping our criticism. We don't judge any situation as good or bad. So that's just a very quick example. Of course, you're going to be reading the entire page. You really want to take this in. You really want to absorb this. You know, if these 2 cards had been reversed, then it's going to tell you a completely it's going to suggest a completely different shift. So it all depends how the cards fall. Okay, so now we're going to do one together. Now, I didn't design these cards to, one card fits all, a universal deck, choosing one card for the whole entire world here. But let's do it and just see what happens. We're just playing, right? So, profound play. So, we're going to choose a card for 2020. What can we do to go through this year with balance and clarity? How do we need to shift as one? Puma, innocence and intuition. When you spring from the innocence of intuition, spontaneity will rise from the depth of your being and guide your every step. Recognize the self. There is an unmoving, stable presence behind the activity of the mind. And you see this when you meditate when you meditate regularly, you begin to see the thoughts go by. And you begin to see that you are not your thoughts. Because if you were, you wouldn't be able to be watching them. Like, what is watching? And this is the stable presence that's always here. She acts on the well-founded impulse, assurance, and spontaneity of her being, and from an innocence that witnesses every rise and fall of every passing moment. The more we develop and trust our intuition, the faster we can react to any situation, issue, or decision that arises in life. So what Puma is saying generally here is that when we are grounded and relaxed, meaning when we're not influenced by the chatter of our mind, and we can hear the little voice inside. When we listen to our hunches, we're listening to a deeper source. Hunches don't come from ego. And when we're in alignment with that, then we can respond to whatever is unfolding in our life. When we begin to listen from that still spot, we respond always to the moment. I wanted to demonstrate the Puma meditation so that you can see what exactly a Kundalini meditation is. So what you want to do is come into easy pose, and if this is not comfortable for you, you can sit in a chair, you can sit up in bed. Doesn't matter as long as your spine is straight. So if you're on a couch or even in bed, you may want to be against a wall or put something, put a pillow by your mid-back so that you're not slouched. Your eyes are going to be 9/10 closed, 1/10 open, so that you're looking down at the nose. You're going to inhale 2 short, powerful breaths through the mouth and 1 short, powerful breath through the nose. The arms are bent close to the body, and your hands are going to be in Jnana Mudra. Forefinger and thumbs touching. Other 3 fingers straight up, and your palms facing forward. You're going to do this for 11 minutes. You can do it for 3, you can do it for 7. What you don't want to do in any of the meditations is to exceed the maximum amount of time. You're going to end your meditation by taking your hands in prayer pose at the heart center and inhaling, holding the breath 15 to 20 seconds as you press the palms together so hard that you're shaking. And then exhale the air out and inhale again, hold the breath for 15 to 20 seconds again, applying the same pressure between the palms, pressing really, really hard. Then exhale all the air out. And inhale as you stretch your arms over your head. Retain the breath for 15 to 20 seconds. Exhale with the arms still up in the air. Then inhale again, retaining the breath for the same length of time. And exhale, bring the arms down and relax. I hope these cards serve and uplift you in promising ways. Use them as a tool for self-inquiry, to reconnect with yourself, to return again and again to your peace and to your practice of presence. We really don't have to ever return anywhere. We just need to remember who we are. And your spirit animals will remind you to reside in your power at that heart center and not be controlled by your mind. This is what our companion animals do for us. They bring us back again and again to the heart, and we feel happy. So I hope these cards make you happy. Thank you for watching and enjoy them. Sat Nam.